Murder. You don't like that? Andrew was born on August 31st, 1969 in National City, California. You want me to keep going? He was the youngest born of 4 children. He's the baby.
Only 4 children?
That's what I have.
Not like our typical, like, they have a zoo of kids?
No, this was 69.
Well,
you know?
okay.
This is 60s.
Yeah.
You gotta reel it in. Just have 4.
Just reel it in.
Okay, so he was born, his father's name, Modesto Pete Cunanan. He was Filipino-American. He served in the U.S. Navy for the Vietnam War. So he was away when Andrew was born. Fun fact.
Okay.
After he left the Navy, his father became a stockbroker. And I don't really know what that job means. I just think of the Wolf of Wall Street. Okay, his mom was Mary Ann. This is what I should have looked up how to say. Schillaci. I don't know. It's an Italian name, in case you're wondering.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
No, I don't know. Let's just move on. Mary Ann. Names aren't my strong suit. Pronouncing anything that's not like...
Just a regular name.
A kindergarten level book. Okay. So they're living in National City, which I was like, I'm not really heard of that. Where is it? It's south of San Diego, which I've heard of. So now I kind of know.
You've heard of San Diego, or you've heard of south of San Diego?
I've heard of San Diego, and there are places south of it.
There's many
which
places
is
south
National
of it.
City.
Okay.
So it's basically like San Diego, unless that's wrong to say. So I don't really have too much about his time in middle school other than he attended Bonita Vista Middle School.
Okay.
But then his father enrolled him in the Bishop School, an independent day school in an affluent neighborhood of San Diego. I feel like I assume that's a religious school. But I guess I don't even have that in my notes if it is or isn't. I don't know. But at that school, he met a friend, Elizabeth Coate. I think it's just Coate. I don't know. So his profile in school, he's very talkative and he was bright. His IQ score was 147. I was like, I don't really know a lot about IQ scores. The average is 100. And a very small fraction, I don't know what word I was about to say. A small fraction of people have a score that's higher than 130. So he was in that. And then I was like, I'm going to take an IQ test. I want to see where I score. I didn't even finish the test because I got annoyed. So I'm sure mine's probably average or not great.
I don't think I've ever tried taking one.
It was really only like 5 questions long. It was like the most basic free test you could find. And I think question 2 is like, this is stupid. I don't care anymore. I'm not going to like my answer if it's not above 130. I'm going to give up.
Yeah, I don't know. Aren't they like these weird backwards logic questions? Like,
I got a math question. I was like, I'm over this.
I don't think that has anything to do with IQ.
I'm pretty sure it was a math question.
That's weird.
Maybe it wasn't. Who even knows what I was taking if it's any kind of like legit IQ test? So anyways, a majority of people, 68% score between 85 and 115. So I'm going to just pretend I'm in that range. I'm just going to be average.
Okay.
We'll never know because I gave up. So anyways, he's basically a genius. He's talkative, so people probably liked him or thought he was annoying, one or the other. Who knows? But then he's known to have a reputation for being a liar.
Oh, no.
In his teen days. He liked to tell tales about his family and his personal life. I don't know. Who doesn't do that?
I mean, I think he just really wanted people to like him, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Some people care about that.
I mean, okay, maybe I'm just analyzing the situation without knowing anything. 4th born child. Your parents are over it at that point. They don't care. They're like, the oldest kid, you better watch the youngest kid.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's gotta go drink wine. Dad's gotta watch football or something. I don't know. Which is...
The novelty's over.
I don't know his parents, but...
They know how resilient kids are at this point, so they're just like,
I do have
just
a little
figure
more
it out.
information. Right. They don't have time to pay attention to all of them.
Yeah.
So he probably was like, I'm just going to lie about my family. I'm going to make it sound great. Or something like, oh, my dad's a stockbroker. He's basically like Wolf of Wall Street. People are like, oh, so like you're rich, you live in a mansion, your dad does cocaine? Yeah, that's every day.
Wait, when did Wolf of Wall Street, the actual story, take place? Because I don't think it happened yet.
I don't know. Was that like the 70s or 80s?
I think it was... I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know. I was thinking it was in the 90s.
At the latest.
I thought it was in like the late 80s, early 90s.
I don't know. Well, you just said the 80s. That leads me to believe that I'm basically right. This doesn't seem important to be looking up right now.
It's okay. I feel
like
it's
found something that says in 89, so it's probably 89 into the 90s. So whatever. I'm moving on from that.
Oh, so I was right, and you're just gonna ignore that.
Okay. So he's a liar. He also liked to change his appearance to represent what he found most attractive at a moment. I don't know what to do with that information. Like, I assume this is probably in the 80s. Like, I'm sure there were a lot of trends going on back then. I'm sure everyone liked to change their appearance.
Probably.
And it's like Southern California 80s, so...
Yeah, just hopping from one trend to the next.
Right. And by high school, he identified as gay, and he liked to talk to wealthy older men. I respect that. I feel ya.
He definitely really leaned into that.
I'm all talk, but I feel ya. Like... In his yearbook, he gets voted least likely to be forgotten. Yeah.
So all of his lying and stuff
it
paid
was
off.
Doing something.
Yeah.
I don't think it means people necessarily liked him, though. They probably, maybe, I don't know. I wasn't there.
I don't know.
So he graduates high school in 1987. After that, he enrolls in University of California at the San Diego branch. I assume there's more branches, but I wrote San Diego. He majored in American history. Oh, and then I have a fun fact that probably no one cares about, but I applied to 2 grad schools in Southern California. Not that one. But at first I was like, what was that other school I applied to? Was it that one? I don't remember because one was just San Diego State. It's like, I don't remember that because I actually toured that one. It's like, what was that other one? It wasn't. I figured out that it was California State with a branch at Long Beach, not even related. But I was like, is it that? That sounds familiar. Where do I know that from? That one didn't accept me. They were supposed to be an easy school to get into for stupid people, but they were like, no. Got into basically all the rest, though.
How's that make you feel?
Don't give a fuck. And my statement here ends in fuck that.
Does it really?
Yeah. It was just thoughts,
Oh.
That's how I felt in that moment after. I was like, what was that school in California that didn't want me? Was it this one? I just needed to know, and it wasn't. So it had nothing to do with this, but there's some information.
Okay.
Okay, so then it's 1988. He's 19 years old. His father abandons the family. He moved to the Philippines because he had to avoid getting arrested for embezzlement. So how is this not Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh.
It's not.
I mean, maybe it was just really popular.
What else were these guys supposed to... Now it's close in time. See?
Yeah. You're right.
These stockbrokers, they're all on the same page.
Pretty much. They're all psychos.
Money.
Doing coke.
But this guy was like, well, screw my family. I don't want to go to prison. I'm just going to leave the country. Okay, where are we at now? Okay, so he's 19. He starts going out to gay clubs and restaurants. Oh, and his mom's super religious.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. And so then he tells her that he's gay. They had an argument, so it wasn't going well. And then he throws his mom against a wall, and she dislocated her shoulder.
Nice.
Yeah. So some people speculated that he probably had anti-personality disorder. Short story is just a lack of remorse and empathy. People commonly associate that with being a psychopath. So now I have the whole DSM-5 diagnosis of that. Because it's like, how did these people know? It's a lot to say, so I'm probably not going to say it all.
Okay. Paraphrasing's all right.
Okay, so you have to meet 4 different points. The first point is just pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others since you're at least 15, and then it has subcategories that you have to meet at least 3 or more. So things that he probably would qualify under. One being lack of remorse. So if people are like, he doesn't have that, well, that's a good sign.
Okay.
Irritability and aggressiveness, maybe, because repeated fights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not against throwing his mom against a wall.
Did he get into like fights in school and stuff?
I don't think so. I don't
It'd
have
probably
that in
go
my
against
notes.
the grain of like wanting people to like him.
Right.
You know?
But there's impulsivity, I don't know, reckless disregard for safety, irresponsibility, deceitfulness, failure to conform to social norms. But that I feel like he tried to follow. So I don't know. You'd probably have to really know him for that first one.
Mm-hmm.
Point B, you just have to be at least 18 years old. But that's just because there are other disorders that are more for like kids or teenagers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In which the next point is evidence of like conduct disorder prior to 15, which is just one that's in youth, I guess. Basically the same thing. Those rotten kids that don't give a fuck about anything and are like, I'm just going to throw these sharp pens at people in school because why not? And like, psh.
Too angsty. Too weird.
Just those aggressive kids, you know?
I don't know.
I went to school with this one kid since like, I think 3rd grade. And in 3rd grade, I think it was that year. I just remember his desk. We had this like huge note. It was like, remember to breathe. When you're upset, count to like, I don't know what number. And it was like these steps you had to follow. And then I remember like high school, he like shoved someone up against a locker and everything. And then after high school, it was like freaking scandalous. I don't think anything bad happened to him, but these people, not cops, like fake cops.
Like security guys?
No, like people who have nothing better to do. So they make fake accounts and pretend to be a young woman to lure in potential predators and then like get him caught on camera. So that happened to him. He thought he was talking to a 14-year-old girl.
Okay.
It was like, she was like, meet me at my high school.
Woof.
But really it's like grown-ass adults trying to be like, are you a pervert?
Yeah. And
We're
Chris
gonna get
Hansen
you
comes out of
on-
the bushes.
Yeah. So then that happened. I don't know. There's a lot of stories about that guy. I probably shouldn't even talk about them because what's that have to do with anything? But I might see him in the newspaper someday. He always liked me in school. I was nice to him.
Jeez. Okay.
The weirdos, they just flock to me. That was probably mean to say, but it's factual. Anyways, the last point is just occurrence of antisocial behavior, but not schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Assuming, like if you're diagnosed with it, it could just disregard antisocial personality disorder.
Just like that.
Yeah, psychology is weird. Or the DSM is weird. No, a lot of people have issues with the DSM-5. That's a whole nother topic.
Okay.
But that was what was available when I was in college. And they're like, get this pocketbook DSM-5 for abnormal psychology.
Oh.
And then they're like, and here's all the problems everyone has with this. But here are some good things it does. And then I just had one professor. He was old, though. He was like, no, we're only going to look at the DSM-4 because we don't like the DSM-5. I was like, okay.
Okay.
He likes me.
All right.
I see him at that place called work.
Just a common theme with you.
Everyone likes
you just
me.
end every story. They like me, though.
Yeah.
I think that
I helped him find.
Maybe that's a personality trait for you.
I'm sure I have some form of personality disorder. The attention-seeking one, maybe.
I don't have anything to say about that.
In 1989, I'll keep going.
Okay.
He drops out of school. But now I read contradicting information after it. Okay. So my first note, he dropped out of school. He moves to Castro District of San Francisco. I don't know. They were just like the center of the LGBTQ community at the time.
Okay.
It was the place to go. And his best friend, Elizabeth Coate, and her boyfriend, Phil Merrill, they all moved there, lived together. But then on a different site, it was Murderpedia. They claimed he graduated from University of California. But I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I just read two different things. One said he dropped out of school. The other said he graduated.
Interesting. Because, like, it would make sense that he didn't finish school.
Right.
Because he struggled, like, later on with...
Well, I mean, if he's moving to a different town in 89, he would only have been in school for, what, a year? 2 years?
Right. Huh. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. Unless, like, they just happen to have a branch there.
Which I guess is possible.
Who knows?
But that's basically all I got for early life leading up into adult life.
Okay. So you said, the last thing you said was that he moved to San Francisco, right?
Yeah. I don't know if any of that overlapped with what you had.
Nope, that's where mine picks up. So
makes sense.
Yeah. When he was in San Francisco, he really like leaned into befriending the older wealthy men.
Why not?
And they just treated him like a prince with like all these expensive, parties and bought him cars and all that jazz. He went through a couple of them. I don't know how many exactly, but there's a couple of them that were named. And I don't know. I think I don't think he ever had feelings for them. He just used all of them.
Probably. I mean, that's what I would guess.
Yeah. So like when he moved to San Francisco, he just became super accustomed to this high lifestyle that he had no right living. Between like San Francisco, Hillcrest, La Jolla, San Diego, actually even like some places in Arizona as well. He went to all these crazy parties. But shortly after, one of his best friends, someone who he considered like a brother, Jeffrey Trail, just assumed like he started selling drugs and stuff, and possibly making violent pornography.
Gross.
So I don't know. There's some aggression coming out, and I think it's I read that a couple different places. I'm going to believe, that that's what happened because he started dating a guy a little later on. And that was one of the reports was like rough sex. It's like one of the things that went poorly in it. So
I feel like psychopath.
Tried taking it out on that poor guy.
Abusive sex, murder. They all seem correlated somewhere.
I guess. So there was this nightclub in San Francisco called Colossus. And in October of 1990, this is allegedly when Andrew Cunanan first met Gianni Versace. Versace was already in the nightclub. He was in town because he was being honored for his costume designs from the San Francisco Opera. They were putting on a production of Capriccio. And he was just hanging out being like a wealthy, famous guy, which I assume he gets a lot of attention at nightclubs. And the story goes that he recognized Andrew. And really, I think it was just like, I'm a gay guy and I think you're cute, so I'm going to like flatter you a little bit.
Sure.
But apparently, Cunanan just ate it up like crazy. I think it started a little bit of a problem for him. Like he just became obsessed. But I don't think anything ever happened of it. But outside of like that one encounter, there's no information at all that I could find that they were actually connected or had even met each other.
I looked into it a little bit and I probably read that a little bit, but I had nothing else.
So he pretty much lived this lifestyle for a couple of years. He met a guy named David Madsen, which is actually a friend of Jeffrey Trail, which is his best friend at this point, from what I could tell. Madsen was an architect from Minneapolis. They met in December of 1995, and he was like, hey, I'm going to order that guy a drink. And Cunanan was like, okay. And that started that. They just started a relationship right then and there. This was the guy that reportedly, the whole rough sex dealio, broke it. Because Madsen started distancing himself from Andrew, being like, I think there's something a little shady about this guy. And it was long distance anyway, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't hard to break off. But Cunanan would reportedly say to all of his friends that Madsen was the love of his life. I don't know, maybe it was just the first person he had like feelings for. Because I think up to this point, he was just using everyone.
I guess
that
makes sense.
Or maybe this is just another
just,
lie.
Bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah. So after Madsen, he starts hooking up with this old wealthy guy again. He's like, well, I need some income and I need like a new car.
I feel like I'm living my 20s wrong.
Yeah. So listen to this guy's name. If this doesn't sound like an old like banker name, John Blatchford.
I have no feelings about that name.
Blatchford.
I feel like you want me to feel something about this.
I don't know.
You like it a lot, apparently.
It's fun to say. Blatchford.
Blatchford. No.
Oh, whatever. Okay. But
Cunanan's more fun to say because it reminds me of banana. Which also reminds me of Gwen Stefani, but I'm not going to sing that.
Jesus Christ.
Just when you know the like trail of thoughts in my head. Nope. Okay. And you like something boring. That's all I'm getting at.
Anyways, continuing. This relationship didn't last long, which I found two things saying that Blatchford broke it off, and then another place said that Cunanan had broken it off. I don't know why Andrew would break it off, considering he was getting the world from this guy.
That's true. Unless he's like, you're old and gross.
Yeah. But I think this was like the start of his downfall, because after Blatchford had cut him off, he shortly after that just maxed out all of his credit cards, started selling drugs again, but this time he was using it, especially meth. I mean, whenever you're like up and you got to sell a whole bunch of drugs, you may as well take meth, because then you can stay up for 7 days straight. By the spring of 1997, he was just using a whole bunch of painkillers, abusing alcohol. Everyone, his friends, mostly Jeffrey Trail, was like, hey, you have a problem. Like a good friend would do. So
I'm just thinking of some of my friends, and if any of their habits became something like that,
yeah,
I don't think they would ever take it well from me telling them.
Well, he didn't take it well. I don't think, because
I'm sure
he was
no one takes it
because he was like, well, fuck you guys, I'm gonna move then.
Yeah.
So the plan was he was gonna go from San Diego to Minneapolis to tie up some quote unquote unfinished business with Madsen.
Oh, was it murder?
Maybe. But then he was going to move back to San Francisco. That was the assumption, at least. Mm-hmm. So he reaches out to Madsen, and Madsen's like, okay. But secretly, he didn't want Cunanan to come over because he knew there was something weird about this guy.
No.
Well, some people just can't say no.
I understand.
Okay?
I'm just saying.
So Cunanan goes to Minneapolis, and he starts staying with like another friend. And wait, hold on. That was nice.
That was barely anything.
It really wasn't, but it was nice to break the pause.
It seemed fitting.
Anyways, moral of the story is, I don't know what happens, but the two have a falling out. Okay. I don't think anything important happened besides like Cunanan and Trail got into a fight. And then Trail leaves town with his boyfriend for the night. And they're like, you know what? We're not a fan of you, Andrew, but you can stay in our apartment until we get back. Now, they come back the following night, and he's just gone. All of his belongings are gone and all that. And
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Shortly after they got back, Andrew reaches out and is like, hey, I'm at Madsen's place. Or wait. No, I'm getting the two mixed up. Madsen and Trail.
If you get them mixed up, you're going to get me mixed up.
No, Madsen.
Okay.
So he stayed at Trail's apartment. Then
Okay,
he went to Madsen's apartment. Okay. And he calls Jeffrey up once he gets back from his trip with his boyfriend and says, "Hey, come on over." And I'm pretty sure this leads into your first point on
he murders Jeffrey Trail
killing. Yeah.
first. So yeah, Jeffrey, I have like their ages and stuff. I don't know if people care about that. Jeffrey's 20 at the time. I believe Andrew, I think he's like 27. Maybe he's 28 too, actually, now, if it's 97.
I don't have his...
it was before his 28th birthday. I'm doing the math now. I remember saying August.
Okay.
It doesn't freaking matter. But okay.
It might matter to some people.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Just try and get to know these people a little better. Jeffrey was a former U.S. naval officer and a propane salesman.
A real Hank Hill.
That's what I thought initially.
I love it.
I was trying to figure out how to like come up with a good King of the Hill joke. I had none. Haven't watched that show in a long time, so got nothing. But what do you think of when you hear propane salesman? Like, how are they not in Texas?
But did he sell propane accessories?
I didn't read that much.
Oh, okay.
I probably got so worked up about this. I was like, wow, it's Hank Hill. And then I probably was just like, okay, got to go back to this. What's it say next? All right. So Jeffrey was killed on April 27th in 1997 in Minneapolis. On a different website, I read April 25th. But that really does mess with the timeline a little bit.
Okay.
So I guess I don't know. I'm going to assume the 27th.
If that's the one that fits better into the timeline, then let's go with that.
I'm sure I pointed out every time I read contradicting things, though, so I'll probably keep pointing it out.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have that they're at Madsen's apartment, which I believe is what you were saying. They're having an argument, and Cunanan beats Trail to death with a hammer.
I mean, that's a very Hank Hill way to do things, so I think he'd be all right with that.
Wouldn't beat someone to death.
Please. If he's going to beat someone to death,
a good, loving American. He doesn't want to go to prison. He's got to take care of Peggy and Bobby.
Hypothetically, he'd beat someone with a hammer.
Who would take care of Lady Bird? I'm going to go home and watch that show. Okay. So, yeah. Beat to death with a hammer. Rough. So then I have that it's been like 2 days now. Some of Madsen's coworkers are concerned that he hasn't been to work, and so they go to his apartment to check on him. And if any of my coworkers ever did that to me, it's probably not this reasoning. I guess I could be wrong, but I would be so annoyed. I'd be like, "Get out! How dare you?"
What if
Okay.
What if the coworkers were just like, "I brought you some soup on the off chance that you were sick because we haven't heard from you."
I'd say,
for
I don't like
couple
soup
days.
and smack it out of their hands.
Wow, just like that.
And I do like certain soup, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's a tangent. Okay. So coworkers go to check on him. I don't know. I guess it was unclear because I don't think they were let into the apartment, but they get into the apartment. Maybe the door's unlocked. I don't know. But they find Trail's body, and it was rolled up in a rug placed behind the sofa.
Seems low effort.
I mean, they're like, okay, this is what they do in the movies. They roll a body up in the rug.
Yeah.
I also have a fact that Trail's watch, it stopped working at 9:55 p.m. So some people believe that's when, like, the time that he was killed. But why would that make his watch stop? Is what I want to know.
Right.
Like, wouldn't someone have to, like, do something to make it stop?
Yeah, you would think, like, someone would have to hit it. Like, it would have to break for it to stop working, right?
I guess if he hit it, like him with the hammer in that spot, I guess it's possible. But then you think the watch would be broken, and how would you know?
Yeah. You would think if someone hit the watch with a hammer, it would be completely broken. And
those are just my thoughts. I just don't know. That's all I got.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so this leads me then into David Madsen, because he was the second victim. He's also 33 years old at the time. He's a little bit older than them. Okay, yeah. So I guess it's believed that after Cunanan killed Jeffrey Trail, that he was still staying at Madsen's. So those like 2 days before people came. They believe that they were together. Don't know, but maybe David is just like, he is freaking psycho and I don't know what to do so I don't get killed.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, was he just afraid and was just okay being there with him?
Well, let me read all my notes and we'll find out. That's probably my prediction.
Wow.
So, okay. If either way, what I have right now is that on April 28th, Madsen and Cunanan were witnessed together in like the elevator at the apartment building. So that's just why like that timeline with the first date of the first murder.
Okay.
Like that would make sense the following day. And then on the 29th, I guess Madsen had a Dalmatian. That's fun because they were seen walking the dog together.
Like nothing was wrong.
Again, though, maybe like Andrew Cunanan was just like, whatever, he had to die. And Madsen was just like, how do I make this seem okay and that I'm not terrified?
Just ignore it. That's how you do it.
Yeah, don't call the police.
Exactly.
Just keep letting your murderer ex-boyfriend live with you.
Yeah.
So I also have that Madsen was initially viewed as a suspect for Trail's murder, probably just since they found the dead body rolled up in his rug in his apartment. Madsen's family kept saying, like, no, Cunanan was holding him hostage for sure, which seems like the truth.
Yeah.
Since Madsen ends up getting murdered. So then I have on May 2nd, the two were seen together in Madsen's Jeep driving around. They had lunch together at a bar. But then on May 3rd, Madsen's body was found.
Rip.
Yeah. So they found him east shore of Rush Lake, near Rush Lake City in Minnesota. But then I also have something different that says they found his body on April 29th. And now that's an even bigger gap. I really don't know. But I think the first set of dates I have make the most sense. I don't know how.
Probably.
I should just really get over it and like I don't know. I just like to read multiple sources to be like, okay,
right.
Can I find something different in these? And then it's the same information but with different days, and how does that make sense?
The internet's just lying to you.
Okay, so anyways, they find Madsen maybe on the 3rd of May. We'll go with that. So he had gunshot wounds to his head and his back. So they were able to determine it came from a point. I don't know how you like have gun lingo. .40 caliber?
Sure.
Okay. .40 caliber Taurus PT-100 semi-automatic pistol. I even wrote, I don't know anything about guns. I've gone shooting. I don't know what I'm shooting. I'm just shooting a gun. They're all guns. But that for the people who are interested.
I mean, I don't know much about guns either, so I don't know why I'm laughing at you.
Because I'm trying, but not trying that hard. So they determined he had taken the gun from Trail's place, so it was probably belonged to Jeffrey Trail. Okay, so Madsen's dead. Clearly something went wrong. Maybe Madsen was like, you should really turn yourself in. And he's like, psh, bye, bitch. And dump you in a lake.
I would do the same thing.
Well, crazies, they don't understand normal ideas.
No.
Okay, so this leads to him going to Chicago next. So, day after Madsen, well, probably after his death, I guess, May 4th, Cunanan drives to Chicago. Once he's there, he kills a 72-year-old Lee Miglin. If I'm pronouncing that right, it looks right, but I don't know. So he's a like prominent real estate guy. It's just people just believe that it was probably a random kill.
Yeah, I don't know how he fits into anything.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just have a little bit, but so Miglin was bounded, like his hands and feet were bound together with duct tape, and Cunanan stabbed him over 20 times with a screwdriver, slit his throat with a hacksaw, and then stole his car. Wow. So it's pretty extreme.
You know, sometimes you just got to get it out.
Right. So Miglin's family, they just assume it was random. I mean, as far as they know, there's no association. One, a specific FBI agent, I have his name, Greg McCrary. He must have been working on the case for Miglin. He thinks that it would be unlikely for it to be random. Like, he believes that you wouldn't just torture someone without a motive.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like if you're just crazy, sometimes you just
snap.
Take shit out on people.
You're like, oh, I like that guy's car. He's old. He's an easy target. He probably has a lot of built-up aggression suddenly. I'm
sure he had a reason. He connected some dots in his head, but we wouldn't understand it.
Right. And we won't ever know, probably. So
it's unfortunate.
So Miglin, he had a 1995 green Lexus sedan. So once people are like, oh, his vehicle's missing, but they find Manson's red Jeep parked outside. Well, okay, it's on the same street, I guess, as Miglin's house.
Okay.
I don't think it was like right in front of, but like clearly.
Right.
Manson's Jeep. This guy's missing his car. Maybe we should look into that.
Maybe.
Oh, he's been stabbed to death 20 times with a screwdriver and his throat slit open. It's not looking good.
Whoops.
Okay. So the Lexus, though, it was equipped with a like a car phone thing. I don't know what 90s cars were like.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I kind of remember my parents' old cars. They didn't have whatever this car phone thing is. Like, I'm pretty sure that's when my mom's cell phone was like a huge box phone.
Yeah, like
she had one though.
Yeah, like some really fancy cars had like a phone built into like the console of the car, and it was shit. I wouldn't know firsthand because
I was going to say it really seems
poor.
Like you remember.
No,
it's just showing that clearly you're older than me. For those who are wondering,
listen, didn't you ever watch Saved by the Bell?
Not really.
And he was just a rich white boy.
I liked Full House.
He had a phone in his car. He also had a cell phone that was like a brick.
I think I watched like one episode with like my mom because she liked that show.
You couldn't put it in your pocket. You had like a suitcase with you.
Imagine that. Maybe phones will get that big again.
Too much trouble.
Okay, so this car, it has this car phone thing activated. And so I think they were able to kind of like track where the car was going because of it.
Uh-huh.
And I think it had like random places where it was picked up at. But I wrote that they picked up like a signal from that car in Union County, PA.
Wow.
That's not far from us.
Wow.
It's like by Lewisburg, That's
crazy.
Yeah. He made a pit stop.
I like
Maybe
that.
he had to get some gas, some road snacks.
He's all around. I like that.
You just murdered 3 people. Where are you going to go? Union County, Pennsylvania.
I would take refuge with the Amish.
I don't know.
Your face right now.
I'm kind of thinking of that one episode of The X-Files now. They're not like Amish, but they kind of look Amish, but really they're like the gender bender people, like aliens. Do you ever?
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
It's a good episode. See, I like things from the 90s. I just don't understand their cars. You don't ever remember Mulder and Scully driving a car with a car phone? A car. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Anyways. I had like a brain fart.
Okay.
So, authorities are monitoring this like phone activity. May 8th, he was in Philly. Next day, May 9th, Penns Grove and Kearney Point, New Jersey. I'm not really familiar with those 2 areas, but Philly's right there, so.
Sure.
So he must have spent a few days in good old PA. And maybe hanging out with the Amish. Who knows?
Maybe they just were like, oh, this guy, God cannot help you. Get out of here.
Probably. So that leads us to his next victim number 4, William Reese. So on May 9th, he's in Pennsville Township of New Jersey, and he kills a 45-year-old cemetery caretaker. So he's still using that same gun. He shoots him. I don't think I know where. No, in the head. I have that. He shoots him in the head. So he's found because his wife was like, he always comes home for dinner. He didn't come home. I better check the cemetery. Where is he?
That's sweet.
So she goes into I guess he has an office somewhere at the cemetery. She opens the door. His radio's playing.
My cemetery office.
And I assume she finds his body because she calls the police.
Oh, okay.
So
that's weird. So he just like showed up at a cemetery.
Well, I guess he decides he wants a new vehicle. because he takes this guy's truck.
There's an easier way to steal vehicles than killing the owner. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know, but I
was like, could he have just like stolen the truck and threatened the guy without killing him? I guess it's more fear that this guy's then going to be like, this kid just stole my truck. Here's what he looks like. Which now the wife is like, well, my husband's dead and his truck's missing. Mm-hmm. But at least they don't know for sure. But they're clearly going to, I mean, they didn't catch him right away.
Right.
But clearly they can link it to him.
I mean,
I don't know. I've never been in the scenario before of killing people and stealing their vehicles. So I don't know what the best course of action is.
You have plenty of time left.
Okay. So authorities really just believe he was killed just to take his truck, which was a 1995 red Chevy. Huh. I bet it was glamorous back then.
Probably. I mean, wait. What year is this?
I think it's 97.
Wow.
It's pretty new.
Pretty new. Mm-hmm. He must have been making okay money at the cemetery.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. No, good for him.
Maybe I'm in the wrong career
Not
field.
so much now because he got shot in the head, but whatever.
I would probably not be able to work at a cemetery. Don't think I believe in ghosts, but I'm sure I would start to believe in ghosts.
You know, I briefly considered wanting to do the training to like do embalmings and stuff.
Gross.
I mean, I thought it would be fun.
I already work with dead flesh.
Why not make the upgrade to people? Seems logical. I want to hone my craft.
I don't even know what to say. Okay, so where are we at? We never even said how we were splitting this up to be more organized. It might not be because I'm still losing my place, but
that's fine. I mean, I lost my place.
Figured it out
because my notes don't read well.
I know where I'm at.
Okay.
Well, I just was also, when I was like, oh, I have way more notes than you. It's because I'm typing my thoughts as I go. I never said that.
I mean, honestly, I think there's just more information in just the people that he killed than all of my notes combined.
Probably.
Because that's and
I
the
feel
star
like
of the
I
show.
tried to like find the, I don't know. It's just
I tried being better than you. That's all I'm hearing.
And I succeeded, even though I don't know where I'm at. Okay, so it's May 12th now. Probably depends on the timeline. I think at this point I stopped following the other timeline though. So May 12th, he's staying. So he drives the truck to Florida. I don't know if I said that or not.
No, but you just did.
Okay.
Thank you.
So he's in
We're
Miami.
in Florida now.
Yeah. He's staying at Normandy Plaza Hotel in Miami Beach. It costs him $29 a night. He's paying in cash.
Wow. What a baller.
I'm sure he's like stealing money from these people's wallets too, because where's he getting the cash from?
Naturally.
Maybe leftover drug money. I don't know.
Maybe he's still peddling drugs.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. So he's staying there. Now, a month later, on June 12th, he was announced to be on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitive list. He was the 449th fugitive to make the list.
Wow.
I don't know.
What a stat.
Mm-hmm. So he's hiding in plain sight is what I read, Mm-hmm. They're just trying to find the truck, trying to figure out where he went. He was selling some stuff early June at a pawn shop using his own name.
Well, he was, like, when he was growing up, he was really good at changing his appearance.
Right.
He had, like, one of those faces.
But he's still doing that just from pictures on the internet of him.
Yeah, because I saw some pictures, and it's like he put a pair of glasses on, and he looked like a totally different person.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but...
I guess police, in general, just routinely check pawn shop records, probably because I'm sure there's lots of criminals or like people just like robbing others and being like, I stole this engagement ring. How much money can I get for it?
Yeah.
So.
I've never been in a pawn shop before.
I don't think I have either. I don't feel a desire to go.
One part of me is like, I want to go find a good deal, but I think I would just feel weird going into a pawn shop. I don't know why.
Because you're probably buying some stolen junk.
Maybe.
That was probably important to someone before it was stolen from them.
Okay, sorry.
So then I have, by June 14th, they don't know for sure, but they assume that he's out of money because he checks out from that hotel and he doesn't even pay for that last night. So I'm sure he didn't check out. I'm sure he just left.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. So then this Well, I guess I don't know what he's doing for a couple of weeks. I don't really have information. I think he might have just been like staying in the truck.
Yeah, he may have just been laying low
Yeah.
like he should have been doing.
Right. So this leads to the murder of Gianni Versace. Did I say it right?
You nailed it.
Okay, great.
You nailed it.
I'm not going to say it ever again now. So he murdered him on July 15th. Again, so the last thing we have is that he leaves that hotel June 14th. So it's been like a month.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe, who knows what he did for a couple of weeks. He's just laying low. But he goes to Versace's mansion in Miami, kills him on the front stairway entrance.
And that's that.
Yeah, it's 8:45 in the morning. They're up early for murder.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the reenacted pictures, there's like that television show. Mm-hmm. I assume they looked like the real ones, and it looked like Versace was just going outside to start his day.
Yeah, so what I read, we had just come back from like some cafe where he would go in the morning. He'd get his coffee, get a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's what rich people do.
Yeah.
You don't just make a cheap cup of coffee with your Keurig and play on your phone.
Listen, cheap cup of coffee with your Keurig that costs more than...
I never, this is my third one I've gotten for free because I'm spoiled.
Jesus. Okay.
But not spoiled enough that I get to leave my mansion every morning to go buy a cup of coffee.
Okay, fair.
Maybe someday.
You tried to redeem
I'm not going to have
yourself.
a mansion unless I have people to clean it for me, because cleaning a small apartment takes too much time for me. Okay, so anyways, back to murder. So Cunanan shoots him in the back of the head twice, still using that same pistol.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not like, this can link me to so many murders, I should get rid of this and get a new weapon. Doesn't care.
Nope.
I guess there was a witness and they tried to follow him, but he fled into a parking garage nearby, which is where that truck was. Not his truck. I was going to say his truck. His stolen truck.
It may as well be his now.
I mean, he probably thinks it's his.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoever the witness was, probably just, I don't know. I imagine rich people have probably a handful of people working for them to maintain the place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably someone that worked for him. But they did try and follow him, but they couldn't. Versace was taken to the Jackson Memorial Hospital, but was pronounced dead at 9:21. So there's no hope.
Yeah.
The police find the stolen truck in the parking garage. So he has all of his clothes, just wherever in it, and then newspaper clippings about the previous murders he's committed. So he's picking up some newspapers along the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a bold move to go pick up newspapers when, you're on the FBI's most wanted list. So I'm sure your face appears.
There was an element to being a narcissist.
A little bit.
Yeah, and just wanting to be like, oh, did I make that headline now?
Yeah.
And they can't catch me. He's probably thinking he's great.
Right.
And maybe that, I don't know. I'll get to it later because we don't know his motives. But maybe that's why he's I'm going to go after a wealthy, famous person now.
Probably. Got too cocky.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to see how much he could get away with at that point.
Yeah.
Well, that ended that, so. What's next? That's all I got for murders, which was a lot.
So he's on the run for 8 days after he kills Versace. From what I understand is Miami police assumed that they had locked the city down well enough that he wasn't going to be able to get out.
How do you just lock a city?
I think they just kind of shoot police out in all these directions and choke points. But again, he just didn't leave. He was still in Miami whenever he killed himself. So using the same pistol that he used to kill, 3 other people? I think it was 3.
I feel like I've lost count, but that sounds right. The first guy was killed with the hammer.
Yeah. And then it was, shot and then stabbed, shot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he shoots himself in the head with that same pistol. And I don't even know if it was he just broke into the place, but it was a houseboat, a 2-story houseboat. He was just chilling. I watched a video of it's like really poor quality, like VHS quality, of the police showing the place, and it was just a dump. I mean, it was nice, but it was just demolished. Like all the cabinets and cupboards were opened and like empty. There was like the couch cushions and stuff were just torn up. I don't know.
Weird.
It was either like maybe it was a hobo squatting place, or maybe they're just he just had a sick party before he shot himself. But
I could believe both.
Yeah. He was found 8 days after his last murder. It was July 23rd, 1997. He was just laying on the bed upstairs, wearing nothing but his boxers, and shot himself in the head. There was a caretaker around that heard the gunshot and had reported it. Honestly, that's all there is to it. He was cremated, and his remains are interred at a mausoleum at the Holy Cross Cemetery in San Diego. And fun fact, the houseboat that he shot himself in was like a weird tourist attraction for a while.
I could believe it.
But it sank December 23rd, 1997.
Weird. Do you think someone caused it to sink?
Maybe. It's not a tourist attraction anymore. I don't know if anyone actually turned it into an attraction or if it was just like, hey, that's the place where the guy shot himself. People would just flock to it. I don't know. I can't imagine they sold the place. Yeah.
Would you ever live somewhere where you knew that a murder took place? Oh, you are?
I am. Yes. I'm like, does she really not remember? There was a murder-suicide here.
Moving on from that.
Okay. Yikes.
I don't know. I'm sure I already think I have a fake ghost that lives with me, so...
I'm fairly certain that our work is haunted now, so...
Because she likes to come to work with me sometimes. She's probably bringing her friends. She threw that thing off the shelf at me that one day when she was tormenting me. Remember, you were there. And then I tried to go tell other people at work, and then I was told to stop distracting the other employees. I'm not going to name names of who told me to shut up that day. Okay, so I have some information. Not anything good, just speculations about his motives. No one really knows.
Yeah,
he killed himself.
Just a big shoulder shrug.
At the time, there was a lot of speculation that he had found out he was HIV positive, and they linked that to the crime. I assume just thinking like he probably thought his life was over. His friends are pissing him off. Let's kill Jeffrey. Let's kill David. Well, now I'm on a killing spree. Why stop?
Interesting.
But the autopsy, no. I put a T instead of a P. Reading's hard. Let me recover. Anyways, he did not have HIV.
Okay.
He tested negative. And whether or not he knew, like maybe he was told incorrectly. Maybe he got tested. Because clearly, I mean, he's doing things with all these wealthy older men.
I feel like...
Not that I'm blaming them. It doesn't matter. Like, he probably had something.
I mean, it was in the 80s and the 90s, and he was a gay man, so a lot of people were probably just like, he probably has AIDS.
Right, or they
that's
just
how
assume
people
that.
were.
Yeah. The houseboat, whenever that was searched, they thought maybe they'd find a suicide note or something. They didn't. He only had a few personal belongings there, so...
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any... I don't really know what they were. I assume like clothes.
Oh, I don't have any. Obviously, the pistol.
Right.
At this point, it's definitely his. He's definitely used
Killing
it more.
everyone with it.
Yeah. How many people did Jeffrey Trail kill with it? Probably zero.
Probably no one.
He's getting use out of it.
Yeah. So the police, they didn't like consider any of the findings to be special, but there's a note that they found multiple tubes of hydrocortisone cream. I don't know. That's what I read.
Is that hemorrhoid cream?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it's something like that. I don't know.
Just imagine if they walked in.
Like, is that the proper name for Preparation H?
I don't know. It was just
the
first thing that popped into my head.
I don't know. It's something, but they found multiple tubes.
Just imagine if he just rubbed his whole body down with it right
I
before he
don't
shot
know.
himself. That would be hilarious.
He also had an extensive collection of C.S. Lewis fiction. But, like, has he just been carrying that along through all these different vehicles this whole time?
Well, wait, how do they know that was his and not something that was in the house?
Right, I don't know.
Because the house
Even
was
if it
fully
had his
furnished and everything.
Prints on it, like, he could have just been roaming around,
Yeah.
checking it out.
I
I
don't know. Because the way it looked, I mean, it was a disaster, so I just assumed that he was there for a couple of days, laying low.
Right. I know nothing.
I don't know.
These are just
no
some
one else
theories.
does either. So
Another theory is that he was just jealous of Gianni Versace because he was just like a gay icon, and
yeah,
Andrew
kind
clearly
of like
maybe
everything
had
that he
some
wanted to
kind of
be.
like ego, right? And if he maybe met him previously in life in passing, he was like, "I want to be like you."
Yeah,
but I can't if you're alive. So I've already killed some of my friends,
You
some
must
random
go.
people. Why not come for you? Other motive for some of the murders, him just thinking it was necessity or opportunity, like to steal a car, crazily murder people. I don't know. Don't know. His behavior suggests that he was probably a psychopath, though, or suffering from some type of personality disorder where he lacks empathy. So he probably felt nothing about everything he did.
What if he was just fine and okay? What if he was a totally normal person and had empathy and he just panicked? And
I don't think when someone panics, they put a screwdriver through someone 20 times and then slit their throat with a hacksaw, though.
you never know.
It seems like a weird kind of panic.
You never know.
It seems like it was underlying all along.
Everyone reacts to situations differently.
You're giving me concerns.
I have tools all around this place, just hidden.
I don't need those.
Like
You
there's
should see the tools I get to use at work.
There's a razor blade duct tape underneath this desk.
Really? That's some Dwight Schrute level stuff.
Just in case.
You know, when you watch The Office, you're like, who's freaking weird at work like Dwight? Who do you think, if they could tape swords into spots, they would? Doesn't understand social cues, so most people don't. I mean, everyone grows to like Dwight's character. This is not the same, so it's just similar.
Yeah, no one's growing to this one. I guess it's back to me for
Pop culture.
pop culture, yay.
Until I steal the show again.
That's fine. I've got 2 movies that he was portrayed in.
What are they?
Get this. The Versace Murder.
Wow.
Wow, that was in 1998.
That's
Then-
pretty quick.
Murder
Maybe.
in Fashion.
Wow.
Wow, which is
can't
2009.
Can't even. Wow, that's a time difference.
I just don't give a fuck about this part.
Is that all you got?
No.
You've convinced no one to watch these movies.
I have a TV film, okay, called House of Versace. All these names suck.
That one was good.
Shut up. This is in 2013. And then the only one that I recognize is the 2018 American Crime Story Season 2, The Assassination of Gianni Versace. Because it's on Netflix and I saw the little banner for it once. And then throughout, the last 20 years, he's been all over random episodes of like 2020 and Court TV and all that jazz.
Makes sense.
Other than that, I'm pretty sure there's other stuff, but I didn't really care to look into it because...
Okay, so then let me tell you what I stumbled across.
Okay.
Because it kind of, to me, it more so relates to pop culture.
Okay.
I don't even know how I found this. It's just when you like keep clicking on random links and then suddenly you're here.
So...
It's probably the same reason why I think there's probably viruses on my cell phone, but
I feel like you're about to lay like a conspiracy theory on me.
it's not even that great. It's just that I came across this article about Lisa Kudrow. She plays Phoebe in Friends. I assume you know who that is. If not, you're basically dead to me.
I've seen Friends.
Okay. So Lisa Kudrow, apparently, like, I assume she claimed this sometime, I don't know, in the 90s. No, actually, the story came out like 3 years ago. Question mark. I don't know. But
Okay.
she claims that in the 90s she had an encounter with him weeks before like the murder spree started. Now, this article I read literally referred to him as AIDS infected psycho. So they then lost like my respect because I was like, that is just some like Hollywood like
That's coming
attention
in hot.
grabber.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, okay, Lisa Kudrow's name here, AIDS infected psycho here, blah 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 blah. We've got them hooked. It did work. I read the article. I don't know. It would just seem like
the science of
a
clickbait.
stupid. Yeah, it was clickbait for sure. But her story, and I think she like told this on like a talk show too or something. Again, not until like a couple of years ago. It wasn't like she was saying this in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly she was like popular back then because of Friends. That started in I think 95.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. No, 94.
How do you know this?
I've watched Friends like so many times.
Okay.
Gosh. I hope I'm not wrong now though, but I'm sticking to 94. You can look it up.
Okay. I'm going to look it up. You keep talking.
So she said she was at a Hollywood dinner party, and apparently they posed together for a picture. He just like went up to her and was like, I want to be an actor. Like, I really like you, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't leave her alone. She's just like, he gave me the creeps. He cornered me, wouldn't go away. He was intense. He was strange. I don't know. I think she was just finally like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And like, then avoided
Just ducked out.
him, maybe left, something like that. She got bad vibes, she claimed.
Oh.
So yeah, I read that, like, I'm pretty sure she told this story just a couple of years ago, but she claims she still vividly remembers this dinner party from 1997.
Interesting.
Which would have had to have been early on, but because if he started his murder spree in like April.
Two things. You're correct.
Boom!
September 22nd, 1994.
Too loud for the microphone, I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. I'll leave it in and everyone will be like, wow. Okay.
Oh, my ears.
Yeah. But why would you even bring it up? If you're her, why would you ever talk about it?
For attention.
I guess. People get desperate after their career goes down the shitter.
A couple years ago, you know, who's talking about her? Everyone's talking about Jennifer Aniston still.
True.
Basically no one else from Friends.
Who's talking about Jennifer Aniston still?
Oh my God, have you seen her? Everyone's still talking about her. She's still like making stuff. She still looks great. She looks the same. Everyone's talking about her.
I'm sorry that I fucking asked.
The other people in Friends, like all the male cast, they're sorry, not sorry. They're not looking great these days. They're not aging as well as her. Courtney Cox, okay. And Lisa Kudrow, like all the women. Because society probably puts more pressure on these women to look good to the men. You know, Matthew Perry's like, I'm just going to get fat. I don't care.
They made their money. They're not trying to impress anyone.
Oh, but Jennifer Aniston.
Listen.
So then Lisa's like, how can I get popular again? Did you guys know this one time I ran into that guy who killed Gianni Versace?
Remember that time earlier?
That AIDS-infected psycho?
Remember earlier when you said you're never going to say his name again? Because you didn't feel confident in it?
Yeah, but I was reenacting a scenario that I don't know even exists.
Okay.
So I thought that was a fun story. I don't know the validity behind it, but I read it.
That was fun.
Lisa Kudrow, that name, I was like, I'm interested. You're right.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was interesting. I don't believe it at all, but that's
You don't
fine.
believe it happened? Or you don't even believe the article I read is real? Both are possible.
You're just
What
sitting
from
on your
Hollywood
couch.
is real?
I don't know.
I'm sure it was like in my bed.
Okay. All right.
That's
So-
how I research.
Okay. Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sitting right here.
That's because you have to.
I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here most of the time, so that's what
I want
losers
to be
do.
comfy.
I mean, my chair is pretty comfy.
It's not the same.
Okay.
But I don't have comfy chairs at my place, so.
Sucks to suck.
Nope. Anyways, that ends that for me. That's all I have.
But, well, okay. So things turned out all right, but I'm just going to say at the beginning of that was pretty rough. Low energy.
I just don't know how to talk.
I don't either.
And so I've already started talking.
Once the ball gets rolling, you're fine.
Who just knows how to start something?
I don't know. It's tough though.
And then you're just thinking like there's like 3 names in here that I'm going to mispronounce.
Yeah. You just got to get out of your own head.
No.
And you know what? I'm not even going to take the time to peddle our social media because I'm over it right now. Who cares about it?
If you're into it, you're into it. If not, you probably suck, but I'm not into social media, so I don't care.
I'm not into it. I just tried it because I thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
it's still going to be there. Maybe we'll plug it every now and again, but I just don't care right now.
Shouldn't expect a lot of involvement. Have no expectations.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I don't know. Meh. I think I expect too much out of everything, and then I'm just in a constant state of disappointment.
Yeah.
But that's a choice that I've decided to make.
I don't know how to help you with that. I expect nothing.
Yeah.
That's probably not true, but in this context.
I think it's healthier to expect nothing from this.
Mm-hmm.
Considering, especially when we started ours, quarantine time, like microphones were sold out because everyone's like, I'm going to start a podcast, or I'm going to start a YouTube channel, or I'm going to start streaming.
What else can people do
We're
from
just
home?
jumping on the bandwagon. It's fine. Anyways, I don't have anything left to say about this guy.
Me neither.
Okay. So that's it. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Wow.
It seems fitting. Been wanting to do that.